He told the truth, and lost everything in 1 hour. Officer Seydou Koné had worn the uniform for 20 years, but in just 60 minutes, the system he served turned him into a nobody. Stripped of his badge, fired without pension, and thrown onto the street like trash, all because he dared to say what everyone else was too afraid to whisper. He had chased criminals in broken patrol cars, stood guard through riots with expired vests, and stayed loyal when loyalty gave nothing back. And yet, the moment he chose honesty over silence, the system erased him without hesitation. But when President Ibrahim Traoré learned what happened inside that police station, he made a move that shook the entire government and changed the meaning of power itself. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments. And if you believe the truth should never be punished, hit like and subscribe. The sun over Ouagadougou was merciless that morning, pressing down on the city like a weight. Heat shimmered above the cracked concrete as 50 officers stood in formation in a dusty courtyard. Their uniforms were faded from years of wear, their boots worn thin from endless patrols. Some shifted their weight to ease the pain in their feet, others stared straight ahead, knowing better than to look tired. Seydou Koné wiped sweat from his forehead and adjusted his beret. 20 years on the force. 20 years of broken radios, empty fuel budgets, and promises that never arrived. 20 years of silence, swallowing frustration for the sake of survival. And today, without planning it, that silence was about to break. They were waiting for Minister Diop, the powerful Minister of Security. 6 months earlier, he had stood in an air-conditioned hall and promised modernization, better pay, and safer streets. He said the police would finally be respected. The funds were approved. The paperwork was signed. The money was released. But the gear never came. No new vehicles. No new vests. No radios. Just silence. Every officer in that courtyard knew exactly where the money went, but knowing and proving were two different things. And in this system, knowing too much could cost you everything. A convoy of black SUVs rolled into the courtyard, polished and gleaming, tires kicking dust into the air. The contrast was brutal. Minister Diop stepped out in an expensive suit, gold watch catching the sunlight, his shoes untouched by dirt. He smelled of expensive cologne and comfort. He took the microphone and smiled like a man who had nothing to fear. He spoke about progress and reform, about millions spent on equipment, about how easy officers had it now thanks to his leadership. Laughter followed his jokes, thin and nervous. Seydou looked at the young rookie beside him, boots held together with tape. He looked at the cracked windows behind the podium, the rusted gate, the ambulance parked on bricks. Then he looked at the minister's luxury convoy. Something inside him snapped, not anger alone, but exhaustion from pretending. Halfway through the speech, Seydou stepped forward. No permission. No raised hand. No salute. Just 5 feet from the podium. The courtyard fell silent so suddenly it felt unreal. Even the distant traffic seemed to pause. Seydou's voice didn't shake, it cut. He said the minister was lying. He pointed to the broken station, the taped boots, the expired vests. He asked where the money went and why officers patrolled on foot while ministers traveled in convoys. He spoke about colleagues injured because equipment never arrived, about nights spent choosing between fuel and food. For 10 long minutes, he laid out the truth. Facts, numbers, lived reality. Not insults. Not emotion. Just honesty. Minister Diop didn't answer a single question. His smile vanished, replaced by cold fury. He leaned into the microphone and gave one short order, sharp enough to end a career. Strip him. Badge, gun, uniform, boots, taken in front of everyone. The sound of tearing Velcro echoed across the courtyard like a gunshot. 20 years of service ripped away in seconds. Fired immediately. No pension. No benefits. Blacklisted. Let him walk home, the minister sneered, turning his back as if Seydou no longer existed. Fear froze the officers. No one moved. No one spoke. They stared at the ground, at the walls, anywhere but at Seydou. They knew he was right, and that knowledge terrified them. Seydou walked out of the gate in his socks, carrying his life in a plastic bag. Neighbors whispered as he passed, confused and curious. When he reached home, his wife knew before he spoke. She saw it in his eyes. The strong officer finally broke, not from shame, but from the crushing fear of failing his family, of not knowing how tomorrow would look. What Minister Dio didn't know was that a young rookie had recorded everything. Sitting in a small internet cafe, hands shaking, heart racing, he watched the video again and again. Posting it could end his career, maybe worse. But deleting it felt like betraying something bigger than himself. He uploaded the video with a simple caption: "They stripped him for speaking the truth." At first, nothing happened. A few views. A few comments. Then someone shared it. Then another. Influencers reposted it. Taxi drivers played it on their phones. Market vendors argued about it loudly. By nightfall, the entire country had seen it. That evening, Minister Dio laughed it off over dinner. "It's just the internet," he said. "People will forget." He believed power protected him, that titles erased consequences. But inside the presidential palace, Ibrahim Traoré was watching the video. Once, twice, 3 times. He said nothing. He didn't shout. He didn't sleep. He followed the money line by line, transfer by transfer. And what he found wasn't just corruption. It was theft, deliberate and calculated. At dawn, Traoré made a call. Prepare a unit. The meeting would not be at the palace. It would be at the police station. And the minister would be there. The next morning, crowds gathered outside the precinct chanting Seydou's name. People who had never met him felt they knew him. Inside, Minister Dio was sweating through his expensive suit. The gates opened, and President Traoré stepped out, not in a suit, but in full military uniform. Silence fell like a blanket. He opened a folder filled with bank records, invoices, offshore transfers. Each page was a lie exposed. Each number told a story of stolen trust. "You fired this man for asking questions," Traoré said calmly. "But the only traitor I see here is you." He relieved the minister of duty on the spot. Dio thought it was over. He was wrong. "Arrest him," the president ordered. Traoré turned to Seydou and handed him his uniform. "Put it on." Then he said, "Officer Koné, you witnessed corruption. You know the procedure." With shaking hands, Seydou handcuffed the man who had destroyed his life. Metal clicked. The sound echoed across the courtyard. The crowd erupted. Fear changed sides. The minister seized assets paid for new patrol cars, new boots, and working radios. Across the country, officers stopped taking bribes, not out of fear, but because they believed again. The system had proven it could protect the honest. Seydou Koné never became rich. He went back to work. Years later, when he retired with full honors, a photo hung in the precinct, a fired officer standing tall as the president saluted him. Beneath it, one line read, "Loyalty to the nation, not the man." This is what real leadership looks like. This is what courage creates. If you believe the truth should always win, like the video, subscribe, and stay with us, because the revolution has only just begun.